5. Most unfriendly countries I visited. Ever traveled to a country where you felt like an unwelcome stranger? You know, like you've just crashed a family reunion where nobody even knew you were invited. Well, today we're diving into the 5 most unfriendly countries I've visited. So, grab your passport, a big bag of patience, and perhaps a clown nose for comedic relief. Let's jump into this adventure. First up, Denmark. Denmark is truly stunning, like a postcard come to life. Think of picturesque canals, historic castles, and pristine beaches. But when it comes to warmth, the locals are as cold as a leftover Danish pastry. You could be standing in front of the beautiful Nyhavn harbour, marvelling at the colourful buildings, but if you dare to ask someone for directions, you'll get the Danish dismissal. That's when they sip their coffee like it's the last available cup on earth and act like you just asked them to recite Shakespeare in Danish. You'd think that in a country famous for hygge, the cosy feeling of togetherness, making a friend would be easy. But hey, if you want to connect with a Dane, your best bet is probably through a significant investment in their coffee culture. I mean, if you start slipping them a few Danish krone for that caffeine fix, maybe they'll throw in a smile or two. And just when you think you've cracked the code, you realize their silent stares are simply another way of saying, "I love you," from a distance. Did this make you smile? If so, give that like button a little love tap. And if you want to keep the laughs coming, click subscribe. We promise to deliver adventures and giggles straight to your feed. Next, let's talk about China. China. Home to the Great Wall, delicious dumplings, and a subway system that could be mistaken for a sardine can. Riding the subway at rush hour is an experience that defies logic. You're packed in there tighter than a can of SpaghettiOs, and yet no one makes eye contact. I tried to start a conversation, and I might as well have been speaking Klingon. The concept of personal space here is more of a suggestion than a rule. In fact, if you ask someone for help, prepare for the classic avoidance technique that seems to be an unwritten rule. You'll receive a look that says, "Why are you talking to me? I have places to be, and those places do not include interacting with you." But hey, a little confusion can be a great way to spice up your travel tales, right? Just think of it as a cultural immersion exercise in eyebrow-raising and sighing theatrics. Now let's dive into Belgium. Belgium is often hailed as the home of delicious waffles and luxurious chocolates, but the locals must have missed the memo on friendliness. You can practically hear the sound of indifference in the air. Walking into a shop, you might feel like you've entered the world's quietest library, except for the rustle of your own awkwardness. I once dropped a chocolate off my table, an absolute tragedy, and the only reaction I got was a cold stare as if I'd just committed a cardinal sin. When you ask for help, the response often feels like you're requesting the secret location of a hidden treasure. The locals don't just give you directions, they make you feel like you've just wandered off the designated path into a forbidden realm, which may or may not involve discovering the meaning of life. Want to make friends with a Belgian? Just take a page from their playbook. Master the art of silence, learn the fine balance of frowning while holding a beer, and never underestimate the power of a good moules frites. Next, we've got Spain. Spain! The land of sun, siestas, and flamenco dancing. Sounds cheerful, right? Prepare to be blindsided. The sunny demeanour may be bright, but the temper? Not so much. You might find that the locals are less olé and more what do you want when you approach them for help. Trying to navigate the bustling streets can feel like you're attempting to dodge flaming hot paella in a busy kitchen. A simple request for directions can result in a side-eye sharp enough to slice through the most stubborn of steel. It seems that the only language they understand is that of dramatic hand gestures and exaggerated facial expressions. So next time you're lost in Spain, don't ask for help. Just start a one-person interpretive dance. At least you'll have them chuckling and maybe even rolling their eyes while you figure out how to get to the nearest tapas bar.
Finally, we have Luxembourg!
Luxembourg, the tiny but mighty nation that's basically Europe's best-kept secret, unless you're trying to get someone to smile. Here, riches can create an atmosphere even colder than the weather. You step into a shop ready to make small talk, and suddenly you feel like you're auditioning for a role in a suspense thriller. The clerk looks at you like you just asked if they take monopoly money. In Luxembourg, the locals have mastered the fine art of looking busy, even when they're not. Walk into a cafe, and they'll treat you like you've just violated some unwritten sacred tourist code. You'll feel like you need a special Welcome to Luxembourg badge to be acknowledged. The only time they might crack a smile is when they see how many euros you're willing to spend. It's almost as if they rank friendliness by the number of coins in your pocket. If you ask someone for a recommendation, don't be surprised if you receive a response so cold it could freeze fresh grapes into wine. It seems like they might rather watch paint dry than help out a lost traveller. Honestly, it's like they have an unspoken motto: why be friendly when we can be fabulously indifferent? In summary, while these countries might not shower you with the warmest of welcomes, they offer unique and often hilariously awkward experiences that any traveller can appreciate. Just remember that even in the unfriendliest places, a smile can sometimes crack the ice, or at least confuse them enough to give you a glance. So, pack your bags, travel smart, and brace yourself for some ridiculous encounters along the way. Have you ever felt like a misplaced sock at a laundry party in an unfriendly country? What are your stories of social awkwardness abroad? Share them in the comments. And before you go, don't forget, if all else fails, bring snacks. Snacks can charm even the grumpiest of locals. Just remember, a well-timed cookie can turn a frown upside down faster than you can say bon appetit. Enjoying the journey?
If you laughed enough to snort, smash that like button.
And if you want more shenanigans like this, hit subscribe. It's like sending me a postcard saying, keep it coming.